Rebekah. What a wonderful love story this is. But it is also like a snapshot, showing the culture of that day. There's so many things that make this story even more rich if we just understand what exactly is going on. So let's get right into it and look at some of the beauty behind this story. First of all, there is Eliezer. Abraham is sending his servant to go find a bride for his son Isaac. It's interesting in the fact that Eliezer was in line to have it all. Abraham even went to God and says, "Let my servant stand before you as my son." And God says, no, Eliezer could have inherited everything. But now he's going as a faithful servant to find a bride for this son who basically put him out of the running for it. It's a great picture of the faithfulness of a servant as he serves his master Abraham and transfers that over to Isaac himself. He goes to Haran. When Abraham left Ur and went to Haran, he was actually leaving one major regional capital to go to another one. Both of these were trade centers, very powerful cities. Ur was eventually taken over by Babylon. Haran was taken over by Nineveh. But at this time, it was major centers. So when Abraham left these two great cities to go to Canaan, he was like going out to the backwoods. He was going to a nothing area compared to what he was even behind. Well, the servant gets there and he prays a certain prayer. He's asking that a woman will offer him water and then offer to give water for his camels. Now, understand, the culture of that day, hospitality demanded of her that she give water to a traveler. So that was not strange. What was strange is the fact that she offered to give water for all those camels. 10 camels. Each one could drink up to 25 gallons of water. This was one hard-working girl. But she did it. Someone pointed out to me that if you just picture this, after all that water and hauling water here, she's just standing there dripping with sweat, and the servant starts putting jewelry on her. To most women, that would be kind of bad timing. But anyway, 10 camels. Then we get into the arranged marriage. Now, the way this goes, when a representative of the man comes, a meal is offered, or in some negotiation, just simply a cup of coffee. It doesn't matter if it's a cup of coffee or a meal, that is offered. Now, that is then refused. That's just the way it was. You refused it until the negotiations are done, and then it's offered again. Now, in this negotiation, there has to be four people represented. There is the father of the bride and his representative. There's the father of the groom and his representative. So in this case, you have the servant representing Abraham, and you have Laban, the brother, representing the bride's father. And they get down to it. It's understood that money's involved here. There is two sets of money. First of all, money has to be given to the bride's father, the one that is the head of the clan. If family B comes to family A and asks to take away one of their young women, you have to understand, they were taking away a part of the workforce of family A. You had to pay for that. they understood this was going to happen, but you have to pay for it, a certain amount to take care of that. In addition to that, money has to be given for the bride herself. This father has to look out for the welfare of his daughter. Women of that day were in a very fragile position. If her husband dies and she doesn't have a son, then she's out in the cold. She either comes back to the father, but what if he's dead? So a certain amount of money is set aside for her to take care of her in case something happens. Now, he can hold this in reserve himself, or he can give it to her as some precious thing. It's like in the New Testament, Jesus tells about the woman who had 10 coins, 10 wedding coins. This was paid by the groom's family to the bride's family, and then the father then gave it to his daughter. She wore it as 10 coins, as a headdress, but these were very valuable. She lost one of them. Now, in a case where a man wants to marry a woman and he can't afford to pay all this, well, he could simply join the family. That's what the servant talked about taking Isaac along in case she doesn't want to come back. He could just join the family. And Abraham said, no, this is what Moses did. When Moses went to Jethro's family, he joined the family. Zipporah was just a side benefit to the whole thing. You know, he got a bride out of the whole deal. He was looking for a family. Now, when Jacob went to Laban, he knew he couldn't join the family. He didn't have the money to pay for his bride, but he knew he couldn't join. God had made it clear, you're going back to Canaan. So he couldn't join the family, so he worked out a deal where he could work so many years. Interesting side note here, when it's time for him to go back, he talks to his two wives, and what they said was, our father has spent our money. That was the part that Jacob had worked for that actually belonged to those two women, and he had spent it. They said, he spent our money. We have nothing. So yes, we will go with you because we have nothing else. Well, when once all of this is taken, Abraham sent enough jewelry and valuable things to take care of all of this. And so finally, when the agreement is made, then the meal is offered again, and they settle down and have the meal. They go back to Isaac. Now, the wedding takes place about 3 years after Sarah had died. Isaac himself is 40 years old. Rebekah is no older than about 20. She could actually be younger than that. But again, what a great love story that this is. And I trust by understanding some of the cultural background, it'll make it even more rich for you. Well, come back when we give you more insights on the story.